Welcome to the O Brother Podcast with hosts Dan and Mike Smith, brothers from the same mother with different opinions on movies, TV, video games, and more, plus celebrity interviews. Get ready, get set. It's time for the O Brother Podcast. Welcome to the O Brother Podcast from your host Dan Smith. Alongside me, as always, my brother from the same mother, Mike Smith.
How's it going, Dan?
Good, man. Back in the saddle once again.
How's your Halloween?
Well,
a lot of kids?
Oh, see, it's over there, but yeah, a lot of kids. Good one. The magic of editing and podcasting.
Yeah.
October 31st, 2022, when you get in this episode of the O Brother.
Halloween. I don't know.
Not one effing intro can I get done without getting stepped all over.
It wasn't that good of an intro.
All right, so it's the Halloween. Can you bring it up? You sound like you're about to go to sleep. You okay there?
Yeah, I'm up. Got my Halloween poster.
You got the Halloween? Yeah, you're rocking the Halloween poster up there, which is perfect timing.
Jaws?
You haven't seen this.
What is that?
It's a black cat face with lightning bolts coming out of the
shadow.
And I thought this was appropriate too, because Halloween, but also the green. And we're talking about, this is a She-Hulk recap episode, which I've been dying to get back to ever since the wonderful
She-Hulk.
We ended on episode 5 when we last talked about this series, which is of course on Disney Plus. And well, She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Sorry, I should always make sure that I say the correct full title. And so we've now got what, episodes 6 through 9 is how it finished. Is that right? For this,
I thought 6,
right?
7, 8, 9, 4 episodes. The first,
that's
5,
right, 4 episodes. Yeah, that's right. So we're covering those now. Let's see. Just Jen was episode 6. Just a little do a little housekeeping
recap
here.
Yeah.
Number 7, episode 7, The Retreat. Number 8, episode 8 was Ribbit and Rip It. Looking forward to talking about that one. And the final episode 9, Whose Show Is This?
Yeah, it's my show.
All right, there we go. So, so this is again starring Tatiana Maslany in the title role of She-Hulk.
I really like her.
Yeah, now look, I'm going to dive right in just because I'm going to. You might, steady yourself on that chair for a minute, because I will say, I think as we got to the end of maybe episode 7, certainly when we got into episode 8, I was starting to turn a little bit. Now, I still have a lot of problems with this series because I think if they had just from the jump were more clear about what it was, it's like watching Ally McBeal. Is what it feels like at times. It's just very over the top, silly. The breaking of the fourth wall is so over the top. And I really don't like how they continue to sort of portray this. Well, when she's just Jen, as the one episode is dedicated to, nobody really cares for her, right? She's kind of the outcast, ugly duckling type. When she's She-Hulk, everybody
right. Everyone loves She-Hulk, but
yeah. And I'm like, what kind of message is that sending? Now, I'm sure that's intentional, because ultimately that's going to pay off at some point, I'm sure. It hasn't yet, though. So I still have that sort of pet peeve with it, that I find it odd that and I said this the first time we talked about this, was this is a production that's very much helmed by, female talent.
Right.
Not only in the cast, but behind the scenes too,
I don't know. From the beginning, I've liked the show, and
you've been consistent. Yeah.
Yeah. And I say that, but agree with your criticisms. She doesn't look as defined, and the animation isn't as good as it is with like Bruce Banner.
Right.
But there was some stuff in the second half of the season that was just really funny. And I thought you would appreciate them going back to the TV show.
Now, I have to say, that was episode 9.
Yeah. Was
The
that the
last
end?
episode,
Okay.
yeah. Whose show is this? That was awesome. I
That was
loved it. So
really
basically, what
funny.
Mike's talking about is they did an homage and basically recreated the opening of the Incredible Hulk series starring Lou
Hmm.
Ferrigno, and it was perfect, shot for shot.
Yeah.
But it was also very tongue in cheek. Like,
Hmm.
it was dramatic, it was serious, but I was laughing as well.
Right.
And
And
it was him at the end, right? Mark Ruffalo.
yeah, as Bill Bixby.
He looked so weird
Yeah.
with whatever they were doing with his face,
His hair, and he was kind of standing
but
a
I
certain
have to
way.
say, it was very like, that's the Hulk I'm looking like, it was very terrifying. That's a very scary
Yeah.
version of She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very intense. So I love that. I
They
love that.
also did the ultimate fourth wall break. I mean, the ultimate fourth wall break.
Which was coming out of the Disney Plus
Yes.
menu, right? So you're looking at Disney Plus and you go, all little blocks there, right? Of what's
Right.
streaming.
What are you going to pick? I
Right.
mean, it was exactly the menu.
And I'm like, and I'm sure a lot of people are like, hold up, what's going on? So there's a scene and it pauses and you
Mhm.
just hear her talking.
Right.
And next thing you know, she's climbing into the
She-Hulk
menu.
window.
Into the She-Hulk, right?
And
Out
she
of the
jumps
She-Hulk.
down.
That was really cool.
And her goal was, I'm going to go find this Kevin. And we all know she was talking about Kevin Feige,
Kevin Feige,
the
sure.
creator of the series.
Of course.
So, and
and they're like, oh, nobody talks to Kevin.
Right. Oh, well, I'm gonna. And that's when she jumps out of the window and is looking for him. It was really clever.
It was.
And there was other clever things too. Like I loved it when she was sitting on the sofa by herself and she's on Twitter and somebody wrote She-Hulk sucks. And she quickly, without thinking, you suck.
Right. Good comeback. Yeah.
It's just like
that's
what we do.
Anything.
We react to that stuff.
It's true.
And I've seen a lot of the women in this show on social media saying, stop attacking it. You know?
Oh, yeah. Well,
give us a break.
Jameela Jamil, who plays Titania.
Right.
Yeah, she's been one of those that's come out because she's got but that's everybody gets that.
Right.
On social media,
And it goes back to the beginning sequence when she said, well, when I have Wong on, it's like Twitter armor.
That's right.
Great line.
Everybody loves Wong.
Yeah. Great line.
No, she really is good. She's got great comedic sensibility, and I'm really warming up to her. Again, I wrote down on my notes here at one point, the Ribbit and Rip It episode, which again, they've over the course of these 4 episodes, they introduced these other,
right.
I wouldn't call them superheroes, but I guess that's what they're referred to.
There's one legitimate, but
which one are we talking about? Oh,
Daredevil.
Right,
yeah.
right. And he's the same actor that stars as Daredevil that's streaming on Netflix. Disney Plus, right? Well, it's on Disney Plus.
Oh, they moved it.
Yeah,
oh, that's right. Okay, that makes sense.
It's right there in the menu.
Yeah, and there's like 3 seasons or something. And of course, the movie, it was played by Ben Affleck.
That's right. That was a great episode. Now he's introduced. Is it at the end of episode?
I think it was 8.
Yeah, he's fully in 8.
Yeah.
Which was Ribbit and Rip It. Now, there's a funny scene too where he's introduced as, what is the Luke, the guy that makes the outfits, the superhero outfits for
right.
She-Hulk, right?
I know, I forget his name.
Yeah, but I
he's
think it's
suing her.
Correct. So they're in court, and here comes Matt Murdock walking into the courtroom.
She doesn't know who he is.
No, and he just goes right into this diatribe about whatever it is, right, against the client.
Right.
And then she just turns to the camera and she goes, who's this asshole? There are moments like that are really, it is funny. It is funny. So by the end of the 9th episode, I was like, okay, I mean, if this is what they're saying the show is now and they're owning it,
Right.
I'm on board. I mean, Tim Roth has been great
Right. He was
in this. He's
hysterical.
so funny.
Right.
So
And of
funny.
course, it ends with him being broken out. He winds up getting thrown back into the containment
By who?
center
And he gets pulled out by who?
by Wong.
By Wong. Yeah.
And Wong takes, so that's how it ends, which breaks him loose to be in the next movie, whatever that's going to be. And then there was a funny take with her talking to the robot Kev. It turned out to be a robot,
Yes.
Kevin.
And it was an acronym.
Right.
Right.
And she said, or I think he said, well, we'll fix it in the movie. And she says, is there going to be a movie?
Right.
And he's like, well, we'll see.
There's a lot of humor between the Kevin and Tatiana, Jennifer Walters, because she's in that moment. She comes in as She-Hulk, and then remember he says, "I can't talk to you until you transform back in, but please do it off camera because it's expensive with the CGI."
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of that was really good writing. I thought that was clever, but then there's things like
the worst
it
episode.
Was funny. It was funny in that same scene. She's got this, monologue she's doing, and she refers back to Matt Murdock, and she's got the hots for him of clearly, and she says, "Hey, a woman has needs." And like I don't know, that stuff just doesn't land well with me, at least not so far.
Right, and again, I think that's the way we look at women and men. She's in her 30s. She's not married.
Right.
She goes out, she picks up a guy or meets a guy at a bar, and we kind of give her the slut shaming.
You know what? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm coming off as if I'm defending it, but really maybe I'm not.
Right.
Because if that's what she wants to do and that's what makes her happy, then whatever.
Right, exactly.
So that's a good point. Her cousin Chad, really, do we need he's like Paulie from Rocky.
Yeah, he was the one that tried to get her to sign everything in that one episode. Right, I don't like him.
He's such a doofus.
We don't need that.
It's an unnecessary character.
Yeah,
it's just unnecessary.
And like the he might be gay, he may not be gay guy that does the clothes.
Oh,
I'm
Luke.
not sure.
Yeah, it's
that was a good sequence in
yeah,
because she won an award. And this happens all the time, Lawyer of the Year.
And
but you don't realize 80 people. It's kind of like the who's who.
Right. Now that's where
email.
That's where was that at the end of Ribbit and Rip It, or actually episode 7, where she goes to that gala and gets the award? Because that's the one that ends where the Hulk King, right? That sort of anonymous character, right? That's behind the scenes. We learn who it is ultimately in this. It's one of the guys that she went on a date with.
Correct.
This, billionaire playboy Elon Musk type
that stole her blood.
Had it stolen, right, by Josh, the guy that she was head over heels with.
Right, exactly.
And which is what the retreat episode is about, right? She goes to meet with she has to go to see Tim Roth's character. Right.
Yeah.
Explain that episode, that whole retreat, because that was we got a couple of other superheroes in that one too.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why she went there. I don't remember.
Well, she had to go. Remember, she went with that cop. He said, "Hey, would you come out there as backup with me because in case he turns into Abomination?"
Right.
But he had to go there to check on him, something to do with his parole or whatever.
Right. And what was her business with Tim Roth?
Well, she was there because the cop asked her to go there.
Right. So, but then she started.
But then she gets sucked into
to the
therapy session that
she's
reading
his book.
There. She's reading his book, right?
Yeah.
And she ends up hanging out at the retreat with all of these other
guys.
Guys.
And she's like, "Yeah, this stuff isn't bad." When she's reading his book,
Again, if you can accept it for what it is, because there's 3 other or 4 other characters that are introduced in that episode.
Yeah.
The Bullman or whatever he is, and then the Matador character. And,
right.
But there's very funny scenes among them all. It's just It just
See,
seems like it waters it down so much.
yeah.
I was starting to say at the gala when she freaks out, right?
Mhm.
When they're taking over the public address system
Right.
and they're slut shaming her basically is what you said earlier on the video.
Mhm.
They're showing all this video of her and trying to
Right.
make her look bad, and she gets really pissed off,
Right.
and
That's what sends her to Tim Roth.
right, and it gets kind of serious and dramatic.
Right.
That's what I'd been waiting for. That kind of
Yeah.
like, okay, let's get a little of that, not the silliness,
See, most people out of the gate didn't like it right from the jump because I think I remember the comments when we did the first half.
Yeah.
People were agreeing with you, like, oh yeah, really
Mhm.
bad,
Right.
stupid. And then the killer was the sixth episode, which was the episode right after we did that,
That was
was
bad.
like the worst episode.
Mhm.
And we were talking on the phone, and
Yeah.
we were talking about this just a little while ago,
Mhm.
and we can't talk about it. So we don't
Right.
talk when we see a movie. We kind of have this dialogue, like, yes, I know about that movie in question that you're talking
Right.
about,
I too
or
also had the chance to see said picture.
yes, I saw episode 6 of the series
Is
in
of the
question.
aforementioned series.
I mean,
It's so ridiculous.
that's how we talk.
It is funny, but yeah, well, I'm here to say that give it a little time, right? This one you need to I think you said this when we first reviewed it was let it breathe.
Yeah,
Let this one breathe a little bit. And look, I was hating on it big time, and now I'm like,
right.
okay, now I'm looking forward to it coming back.
Right. I don't know how long it's gonna take, and again,
Right.
they're gonna question a second season. I think
No, I
there's
think they'll
there's things in place
yeah.
because I think there were enough people like me that enjoyed it, and I really loved the ending sequences. They're just so clever.
Now
Um,
that Just Jen episode 6,
right.
the guy that was the one that featured the character Mr. Immortal, right? This guy that has
Oh,
basically he's
right.
gotten out of like 100 marriages over his lifetime by
Right.
killing himself. And then he just comes back to life, right?
And to prove it, he jumps out their
He jumps
window
out there when
and
right because
kills himself.
right. And the actor's name is David Pasquazi.
Mhm.
And if you remember, he was also the guy that because I didn't like his character in it. I just don't like the
Right.
way he plays it. And he was in the Book of Boba Fett. Remember the character that everybody hated in the Book of Boba Fett? He comes to supposedly pay homage to Boba Fett. It's supposed to be the mayor coming to see Boba Fett,
Uh-huh.
and he sends his this guy,
Oh,
and he's like, "Oh,
right.
hello, yes," and he's very
Yes.
Woody Allen type
Correct.
character. It's horrible.
Oh, I didn't know it was the same guy.
Same guy. He was also in Groundhog Day. He played Bill Murray's therapist in Groundhog Day.
Oh, that's right.
So,
I can see him. Like,
yes,
yeah, well, I have an alcoholic or whatever it was when he's
right, because
talking
he's
to him.
brand new to therapy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. But um yeah, that episode, I think I
that was
was like,
horrible.
oh man,
They
I'm
were
never
doing
gonna
the
convince
electric
anyone to like.
slide.
Yeah.
It was awful.
And
It was
again,
awful.
there is they've got to either up the animation level on She-Hulk to equal
Mhm.
um how they do Hulk,
Right.
because that's a real issue. And I went back, I remember you saying the way she walks,
Right.
and it's like
It's
a
kind of a
flowing
it's
kind,
kind
she's
of
like
a
floating.
right. It should put that couple that with the Flash. What is that you did so well that on that episode?
Yeah,
What was
he
that?
does this, and he
Right.
can kind of pierce through
That's so
time.
stupid. But yeah, so for me, let it breathe. Get beyond just Jen,
Right.
and if you can get beyond that episode,
There's a
it
payoff.
gets better and better and better. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And
I think it ends very satisfyingly. And the Daredevil that was great.
right. And
because I didn't know much about Daredevil. Like just very sort of surface level knowledge of that
well,
character.
I mean, I knew it from the movie, but that
Yeah.
wasn't part of Marvel or
No.
anything. That's one of the characters I think they got when they
Oh, in the
bought
acquisition?
Fox. Yeah. So, now we're introduced to him. So he's going to be in the movies.
Mhm.
Um, you've got her that she's ready to make the jump into the movies.
Mhm.
So you've got at least a couple of solid characters
Yeah.
to set up for the Avengers too. Because right now, I'm not buying the Avengers right now.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like the guy with the rings. What's his name?
Thanos?
No, the
Oh.
rings, the 10 rings.
Oh, Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. They've got him. They've got God knows they're going
The
to have to bring
the
back
40 characters in the Eternals.
right. And I can't tell me the name of one Eternal.
Fastidious?
There's the little Pippin or
I don't know.
something.
Yeah,
A
well, no,
pixie. What is it
it's,
called?
Icarus. I think
It,
Icarus is one of them, if I'm
is
not
that the little
mistaken.
one?
No, Icarus is the main guy.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he's the
He's
main
like the
guy.
Superman, right?
Yeah, and Gemma Chan plays the Asian the lead, his co-star in that. They had a
Okay.
relationship in that film. That's the
Yeah.
only other fact I remember about that.
And John Black is in it.
I don't even know who that
Or
is.
Jon Snow, I mean.
Jon Snow.
You know, the
Oh,
actor that
from,
played Jon
Game of
Snow.
Thrones. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
he's in it, but I
Alright,
don't
so
even know his character.
we're getting
Well,
off
yeah,
the
we're
rails
going
here.
way
Getting off the rails,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Anything else to
we're
say
doing
about
a Halloween.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I liked it. I liked it from the jump,
Mhm.
but I bought all the criticism. I saw why people didn't like it, and
Mhm.
I was totally like, "Yeah, you're right." But there's something really good here.
It's going somewhere. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
going somewhere. They showed their chops in the last couple of episodes, what
yeah,
it can be, what it's capable of,
right.
and that kind of Marvel caliber,
And
you
I
know?
think after we started to have that discussion, yes, I did see the episode in
Mhm.
question. I said to you, I think I can see where they're going with this.
Right, right.
I don't know if you remember having that
Yeah, yeah.
discussion.
I do, yeah.
I could kind of see them laying the groundwork for Daredevil
Mhm.
and getting them. So I think
Yeah.
it really it built the character.
Yeah, give it a chance. I mean, as opposed to Halloween Ends, which was our previous episode, which just got worse and worse and worse, this has gotten better and better
Yeah.
and better as it goes along. So,
I mean, Halloween Ends is so bad. I feel like we just
yeah,
talked about it. It's so bad.
I know it really is. It's like I wish it was more of a distant memory,
Yeah,
but
could I get it out of my head?
exactly. Well, all right, there you go. There's a wrap up on She-Hulk season 1. As you said, we don't know when it's coming back, but we're both looking forward to it coming
Yeah,
back now. So,
yeah.
I came around. It took me 4 episodes,
Stop
but
hating on Twitter.
yeah, well, that's never going to happen. Not
Mm,
as long as Twitter
that's what it's
exists.
for. Yeah.
That's right. All right, it's going to do it for another episode of the Oh Brother Podcast. I've been your host, Dan Smith. Alongside me, as always, my brother from the same mother, Mike Smith. And we will see you next time.
Bye, everyone.